What's going on, guys? How you doing today? And I'll be covering my top 5 areas I enjoy the most in Breath of the Wild, in terms of exploration, atmosphere, side quests, and just simply which locations were the most enjoyable overall. To start off, let's begin with the location that introduced us to the world of Hyrule, the Great Plateau. After Link's 100-year slumber, he woke up in the Shrine of Resurrection. Since his memories were erased, he started his quest with no knowledge of the world around him, and in that sense, Link and the player were alike. Nintendo has always strived to make Link the literal link to the player. In Breath, I'd argue that this concept is done better than in past installments, because the mysteries of Hyrule were not just unknown to us, but to Link too. At the very least, Link is usually familiar with the setting found in the introduction to Zelda games, like in the Kokiri Forest, Outset Island, and Skyloft. He has already grown accustomed to these small societies. In Breath, he doesn't even know his own shirt size, which forces him to be level with the player in terms of knowledge about the world. This sets up an introduction to a video game that we'll all remember for quite some time. Oh yeah, and the Temple of Time is found here, one of my favorite locations in all of Zelda. In this game, it's where you obtain the paraglider, which is used so frequently it's basically Link's new role. Another reason why I enjoy this location is due to the trailers and gameplay footage we received prior to the launch of the game. Most of the time, when seeing Breath of the Wild on the internet, we'd see Link on the plateau. So naturally, I was so eager to run around as Link in the very spots I saw him time and time again. Overall, the Great Plateau presents the landscape of Hyrule so damn beautifully, I just couldn't exclude it from my list. Number 4, Lurelin Village, located in the southeast. My most memorable moment regarding this village was the feeling of discovering it. I had no idea there was another settlement in the game, so the first time I saw this beach town was a pretty cool moment. The side quest that pops out in my head involving Lurelin is a fragmented monument. You could find this by exploring, but if you haven't by the time you discover this village, a young boy in the town can guide you to this location, which I thought was a nice touch to reward you for your exploration in finding Lurelin. Also, I just want to point out how gorgeous this area is when it's not raining. Another interesting thing to do here is the gambling house. But try not to gamble too much or you'll end up like this guy. No sword, no bow, just giving up to a friggin' bokoblin of all things. Come on, man, you can redeem yourself. All around me are familiar faces. Number 3 is the Pharaon Woods. I've noticed I usually enjoy forest-based areas a little more in Zelda games compared to other themes the Zelda team goes with, and this game's forest region is top-notch. It isn't the biggest area, but when going through it, it feels massive. The Serpent's Jaws shrine quest was the highlight for me, probably because Nintendo showed this quest before the game released, so discovering it while adventuring through the forest was pretty sweet. I didn't realize this was a Spring of Courage in the gameplay trailer since they stopped playing before entering. And I'm glad they did, because simply seeing the name Spring of Courage pop up made my jaw drop. The Pharaon Woods is where I defeated a Lionel for the first time, and funny enough, I used an ancient arrow without knowing what it'll do.
Holy sh**, he disintegrated.
The denseness of the Pharaon Woods is what keeps drawing me back, and that's why it's my number 3. Number 2 is the Akkala region, located in the northeast. This area always reminds me of fall, with the orange and yellow leaves. Akkala is home to much stronger enemies compared to most locations. The Akkala Ancient Tech Lab has some really good pickups too. The Ancient Blade Saw is always fun to throw around, and the Ancient Bow is my favorite bow in the game. Its range is unreal, and you don't have to worry about much arrow drop as it's pretty consistent with how straight it fires. Picking off an enemy camp from a distance is still so fulfilling with this bow. Akkala doesn't just hold my favorite bow in the game, but my favorite side quest as well, which begins in Hateno Village and makes its way to the Akkala region, Tarrey Town. Bringing the races of Hyrule together made this quest stand out. Nintendo could use this aspect of building a town, but improve the idea by upping the scale in a future title. Before I get to my number 1, let's cover a couple honorable mentions. Kara Bazaar is oddly a nice place to visit from time to time. I say oddly because I don't really have a reason. Maybe it's because it's one of the first places I found in the game, or just the peaceful environment it conveys. Rito Village is awesome too. The location Nintendo put the village in is in between the snowy Hebra region and the canyons of the Tabantha Frontier. I just love the environment variety surrounding Rito Village. And I have to mention Goron City, mainly due to the Gorons always being hilarious. But the theme here makes me imagine a bunch of Gorons playing different instruments. It's funny to me, but also pretty catchy. The final honorable mention is just simply the 3 labyrinths, each giving you a piece of the barbarian outfit, but there's plenty of other treasure to find in all 3 of the mazes. While exploring one, the Lost Woods theme plays. The mysterious / creepy feel the theme gives off fits how unforgiving yet rewarding the labyrinths are. And now my number 1 is none other than Hyrule Castle. You probably see this coming, but come on, how can I not put this at number 1? The music, the items, the epic feel that this place echoes throughout all of Hyrule. Everyone thinks the end is near because of this location. In my opinion, this is the best appearance of Hyrule Castle we've ever seen in any Zelda game. We never could have explored this place as much as we now can in Breath. Now, just imagine Hyrule Castle this open to the player, but thriving with life. Now that would be incredible. So that's my top 5 locations. Breath of the Wild is chocked full of cool areas that I didn't even mention, so please feel free to inform me of your favorite location. And until my next Zelda video, I hope you have a good one. Stay hype, my homie. You're the best. Peace!